Two-man game, TMG, get the news fast, AMG, game of two boxes. Name two boxers that hit as hard as this. Yeah, we're cutting to the truth, no, there ain't no narrative. Eyes up on the cup this year, hear the stadium erupt this year. For my team, TMG.
Anthony Bags.
Oh, you don't want to stop?
Yeah, we're starting. I'm starting. Oh, Anthony Bags.
You done?
I'm done, man. I'm just, what? Can I not be myself anymore? I don't want to be me. You got a guy fiddling with a massive calculator. You're a big man, you know.
It's an iPad actually.
Well, massive. It's on a calculator too.
Yeah, don't watch my team.
Oh, watch your team, man. Episode 96.
TMG.
Two-man game.
4 away from the big century. I remember it was quarter century, half century, now 3/4 century. Sorry, there was 3/4 century. Now we're so close to full-on century.
Been a journey, man. Been a journey. I'm liking our progress, man. See the moving back. Consistency.
Yeah, been twos and throws, ups and downs, and anything word to Larry June. But you keep pushing.
So we started in 2020. It's to 2022, man. 2 years of this.
Just over 2 years, yeah. Just over 2 years, damn. Now we're in year 3 now, yeah?
Year 3.
Damn.
Should get to 100. We really should be at 100. But, life.
Yeah, ups and downs.
Should be ups and downs. That's why it's in the song. So you know innit? You remember?
Of course,
but,
of course.
We're going to get into it today.
96, what happened in 96?
What are you talking about? Basketball? You talk about the greatest Bulls team is 96.
Well, record-wise, yeah.
That's Pippen, Jordan, and Rodman.
Rodman, Kukoc, those guys. What's his name? The light-skinned brother, the big point guard.
You're talking about Armstrong.
Not Armstrong.
What's the guy? Harper.
Yeah, Harper. Yeah, Ron Harper. That's as a
Nothing
5.
From the
minus Kukoc, those 4. Like
Kukoc was on the bench.
I know, but if you have like Harper, Jordan, Rodman, and Pippen, you have literally 4 all-time defenders.
Yeah, man.
Well, definitely Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman. Harper, maybe borderline all-time defender, but it was a very, very, very good defender.
Laughable when they used to compare Kawhi and Paul George to that as the best defensive duo wingman.
I mean, Kawhi is in that category. Paul George, not so much.
You can say he's in the category, but since he's been in the Clippers, he's not.
Maybe not now, but Kawhi literally, his best defensive, he's up there with Jordan and Pippen. PG was never at that level. He was a very good defender. He's probably in between those guys and Harper.
Paul George was a top defender.
It wasn't as good as Pippen and Jordan. Like Kawhi, Jordan, defensive player of the year. Pippen should have probably won 1. Robin won 1. Harper, not so much. Like if you can't, you can search it. Let me search.
They're top wing defenders though. They can.
All-time defensive teams those guys made.
They're top wing defenders, but my credibility for the Clippers is going down. These man, 6 games? Look, they keep losing and don't play. So I can't even rate them too tough. If you're not gonna play, how can we put credibility in your name?
Yeah, no, the 6-game losing streak. They're 7th in the West. The West is kind of tight still.
The West is tight, man. They were saying something like because the parity is distorting everything because hardly any trades. No one's making trades. There's no bottom at the moment. So guys need to kind of like move away from the pack. I guess the best team in the West is probably the Nuggets or the Grizzlies.
So PG's in 4 all-defensive teams, 2 first team and 2 second team.
See, that's a big achievement. You think Paul George is a slouch?
I never said he's a slouch.
It's a slouch.
He's not as good as Kawhi, Pippen, and Jordan.
Yeah, Pippen probably
also,
like
PG has the the unwanted tag or the unwanted accolade of people raining down like clutch shots on him. There's a tape of bare clutch shots.
Well, that's because he's making defensive effort. A lot of guys don't want to defend in the big moments.
Well, I mean, a lot more. Those guys have a lot more defensive highlights than he does.
Well,
they don't have the defensive.
Kawhi. A lot of man in the clips.
So Kawhi, 3-time all defensive first team, 4-time all defensive second team.
That's not much of a big disparity.
7 to 4. I remember these guys were injured a lot. Since I think they're around the same age as well. Obviously, Kawhi has the 2 times defensive player of the year, which obviously Mr. George does not have.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you go to Jordan. I think Jordan has 9.
Jordan has 9. What does Pippen have?
I think Pippen has at least 7, maybe 9, maybe 10. We'll see.
Pippen's a top defender.
Yeah, Pippen, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, defense wins championships. Jordan has he has 9 defensive first teams, and that's it. He's never no second. So
Those the other years, he played. He had a bigger career than that.
So he had 88 to 93 and 96 to 88.
88.
So basically, his whole prime, he was a defensive first team sort of kind of player. Scottie Pippen.
It's funny because guys don't really know him as a defender.
Who?
Well, when you talk about Jordan, you talk about more of his offensive game.
I mean, to the casuals, yeah. But the guys, basketball, they know. I mean, he's a serious defender.
Similar to Kobe. Kobe was very good on the defensive end as well.
He was a bit overrated, but he was good. Pippen has 10, 8 first team and 2 second team. Yeah, but yeah, he's got the P.
Just got these guys.
I know. Let me check Rodman actually.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Rodman probably defensive player of the year. Defensive seems like I would if it's less than 8, I'll be shocked.
He has 2 defensive player of the years, I believe.
If it's less than 8, I'll be shocked.
He's a back-to-back. That he has 7 all defensive first team and 1 all defensive second team.
Yeah, I knew it wouldn't be less.
5-time champion, crazy.
2 with the Pistons, 3 with the Bulls. The Pistons are probably the most overlooked champions of all time, man.
Yeah.
They're underrated. How the impact and the eras that they ended, where they basically started. They delayed one era from starting and ended 2.
Rodman, 7 times rebounding champion. This guy was 6'7". Do you know how crazy that is?
He used to practice where the ball would bounce.
I mean, the art of just reading the rebounds, reading the ball when he rebounds off the backboard and the rim. Crazy. He turned into art. Energy. Turned into a science.
This is energy, and the thing is, he's not even above the rim rebound. It's actually below the rim, so that's actually kind of crazy.
He done a bit of both. Towards the end, he could a bit more below. He was quite pretty athletic in his younger days. I mean, just didn't really have any athletic offensive highlights like that.
Because he can't shoot. If he can't shoot, then of course he won't have offensive highlights. It's a bit like, well, I would say Draymond Green's more rounded game than what Rodman is, but the impact that they have is kind of similar.
Could run up on no defensive teams, to be honest.
Oh, so you can.
Yeah,
it was a long defender though.
It was a good defender, especially the point guard position. 5-time champion as well, crazy.
You're really loving the iPad today.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring it more.
Skip Bayless.
I'm gonna have to bring it more.
You see Skip and Shannon.
Wait, why are you calling me Skip? Even if you're Skip,
no way, I'm not Skip.
The crazy takes.
I would never say that when a man is on the ground.
You're enrolled in a school of thought of Skip Bayless.
But Skip is just a hater. I'm reasoned.
Yeah, but you said you're a professional hater as well, like Skip Bayless. I think you even claim to be a professional hater on Skip Bayless.
I'm a professional hater. Not more reasoned than Skip, more nuanced than Skip. Skip is the king of haters. But it is what it is. Let's get into it today on football.
Might as well carry on basketball since we started.
You want us to carry on basketball?
Start having his pension.
So you can go on the iPad. I can't believe it. Look at your boy. This guy got a new iPad now. He's so happy.
Okay. Quality.
Okay. Start off with a guy. Some people call him a king. He's about to break this record.
LeBron James.
LeBron. The Lakers obviously recently been in a good run of form. 5-1 in their last 6. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the Lakers. Are the Lakers wasting LeBron's prime? Not prime, but are they wasting his last good years?
Yeah, essentially, I guess so, yeah. I mean, he's playing like, or at least on the offensive end, playing like an MVP type level player, a top 5 player, 29, 8 and 7, and they're still languishing while they're playing. I mean, they're still within touching distance, but obviously AD's in. To be fair, the Lakers, yes and no. AD's injuries have played a massive factor, because if AD's healthy and LeBron's still able to play like this, then they will be a contender. Because of those 2 guys are just that good. Obviously, you need other pieces to make them, depending on how serious of a candidate will be. But obviously, the Westbrook trade, which LeBron had a big part to play in, has limited what they can do in terms of putting pieces around him. And now they got those 2 picks, I believe, 27, 28, which they're reluctant to play because they're worried about their future. In my opinion, I don't think they should worry about that too much, because they can blow up. Obviously, they're a main attraction, and when they get rid of players, or when players' contracts wind down, they can still attract high quality free agents. So let's say after LeBron, and let's say AD is gone, or even if he's still there. When LeBron's gone and Westbrook's this is last year's contract, they will have enough cap space to still attract high level quality players. So when you look at it through that lens, then I would say yes, they are wasting his last of his good years if they're still worried about picks, because like I said, they can still attract free agents when they have the cap space and cap room.
That's reasonable. I think what's the likelihood of LeBron getting better now to what they end? No. It's only gonna, due to father time, it's only gonna get worse. Now the issue is the Lakers have given him this extension and you kind of owe it to LeBron to make a move. They're gonna use the picks. That's the only way to keep him happy. That's the only reason why he would have signed him an extension. They need another star ball handler not to waste these years, because all it would be is that LeBron put up great stats and his team was losing. No, like if you look back on the annuals of time, no one's gonna really care. Like how many people remember Jordan's Wizard years? You won't really remember much of LeBron's late career after the Lakers won the bubble championship. If they don't actually make an impact, they don't make a move. Like make one more move, make something like another star. Maybe you can put the 2 picks, package it for like a Bill, package it for a Levine. Like do something. It's better to make a move and then rather than stand still, because I kind of think like this all come back down to the Russell Westbrook trade, because that trade really set them back, and Westbrook not being able to find his niche and his role has set the Lakers back these 2 years. And it's only this summer when the cap space comes again, when it will only be, I think it's only 80 and LeBron in the books, that they can make any changes. And what would you do? Would you have done that trade for Westbrook?
What trade? Who?
The Westbrook trade where they ended up trading Kuzma and Kate.
I mean, it just didn't make sense, because LeBron and Westbrook, they can't really be on the same team. And AD shooting outside shit has been okay. It's never been great per se. It still makes sense for them to be on the same team. That they don't complement each other well. Like Westbrook and like with Kevin Durant or Kawhi or PG, someone that is better from the outside, someone that's not as ball dominant. Yeah, that could work more. And Westbrook, as much as people love, and I used to love when I first got into basketball, he's a decided player, action man, all action, that sort of player. But he doesn't make winning plays. And when they made a trade, you'd hope that LeBron could bring him along, show him how to win, that sort of stuff. And Westbrook is just Westbrook. I mean, you can't really change him.
I don't particularly agree that Westbrook is not a winning player. Westbrook is a winning player. It just, like, he has achieved a lot in his career, and he has been in the big moment a lot. A lot of the things and reasons, when early OKC, Westbrook was a part of it. Westbrook was there. It's not like he hasn't been a winning player. It's not like he hasn't experienced winning. He hasn't won a championship, but he's been to a finals. He's been to Western Conference.
When I say he's not a winning player, yes. Like if you have to ask him, does he win more games than he loses game? Yes. Does his impact contribute more to winning than losing overall? Yes. But at the highest level, like later stage of the playoffs and the finals, that sort of stuff, where you need when the game slows down, where there's more nuance, where the defensive schemes, each player is more crucial. He's too. He turns over the ball way too much. Within the last 6-7 years, he doesn't really defend, apart from maybe this season started to put a bit more impact on that end, a bit more onus on that end. He what's it called? Very high usage rate. Doesn't shoot well. He puts up great stats, but is it winning? Does it lead to winning?
I think
at the highest level, and I think no.
he's one of the major major losers in the development of the Steph Curry and the Warriors, the ball movement, the shooting from free, because prior to that, it was ISO ball that was winning. It was who's got the best player, who can they give it to in crunch time, who doesn't matter if you can stop me, who's good enough to beat that defense regardless of what they put out there. And then the Warriors came and it says ball movement, get it to the open guy, and it had quality 3-point shooting, and it had a bench that could light you on fire. And when that happened, it really changed the game. It swept Russell Westbrook off his feet. And even though that may have happened, Westbrook and Durant, they nearly beat those Warriors. They were 3-1 up on them. And it was Durant that came up short in some of those big moments that cost them.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Westbrook is, he's essentially is a victim of the way the league evolved. He wasn't able to adapt. You know, as I said, adapt to perish, and you know, relatively speaking, he has, in a sense, perished from the lofty standards he used to have before, or the lofty heights he was at before. Obviously, he still won an MVP within that era, but he quickly dwindled from there and declined from there in terms of, you know, his relevance in the league and his standing in the league, because you know he can't shoot at the end of the day. And if you don't surround, one thing I would feel sorry for Westbrook is that he's never really been on a team where he's had shooters all around the court.
If he had, he could have changed that.
And you know, that's poor on the ownership and the back office or the front office, the team people who make trades and the decision makers at his teams. You know, they've done him a disservice by not putting those pieces around him, because you know, I feel you would have got the very, very best of what was possible from Westbrook if you put straight up shooters around him. Even when he had Kevin Durant was pretty much the only real sniper in his team with OKC. What's it called? The new OKC he had after that. When one he's an MVP, he didn't even have shooters like that. Houston's probably the best time he had shooters around, but obviously him and Harden wasn't really his team. With the Wizards, they weren't really doing anything there. Now with the Lakers, they never really had shooters. I mean, so that's where in his defense, they haven't really helped him to maximize his qualities. Like LeBron, you can see when LeBron's been at his best, he's had shooters, snipers all around the court. And you know, LeBron's, he's forced that to happen. He pushed for that to happen, and that's to his credit. And that's obviously, but it's kind of a difference between the two. Because some people say Westbrook's like a smaller version of LeBron. To an extent, he is, but the main difference is the IQ. And LeBron uses IQ on and off the court to, push the team to, build a team around him, or push the team to build a team around him that can benefit all his strengths and minimize his weaknesses. Westbrook, obviously, he's a player, not necessarily a coach or a general manager. Yeah, it's not really on him to do that. But LeBron, pushed the boat and made that difference.
I would say that Westbrook's his career is built on ferociousness, and he's always been an underdog. So the way he plays and the way his game's dictated is by that ferocious energy, and the energy is what made him who he is. And when he has to control the energy, he's half the player that he is. When he tried to get on the court with LeBron and A and Defer, like, boy, it was terrible. It was awful. It's since he took over the second unit and he's balled out that his trajectory's even changed. Like, he's the favourite for Sixth Man of the Year, isn't he? So he's actually taken ownership of that role. He's played all right off the bench. He's giving them impetus. He's giving them the second ball handler, the second creator when LeBron needs a break. Obviously, with all LeBron teams, their on-off stats are awful. Similar to LeBron, I would even say like Luka's got that same kind of effect, and maybe them two are. That's why LeBron probably likes him, because
even probably Harden as well when he was in his prime. Not now.
Prime Harden.
Even probably Westbrook as well in his prime when he was the main man on teams.
It's very hard when you've got one ball dominant player.
Yeah, some of the older heads that understand basketball, those guys, they play in the Oscar Robertson style of basketball. One guy dominates the ball, makes all the plays, gets all the stats, but the team are only used to playing that style, and when he's off the court, they struggle, and that's why the on-off stats really favour those sort of players.
But I would say,
and LeBron is the greatest proponent of that style, because he proved it he's proved it in a winning way. There's other guys yet to do that. We'll see if Luka can. Even when Oscar Robertson win, he deferred. He was a secondary option to Kareem.
Well, what I will say about those two guys is that people are like, oh, share the ball. But then you look at the supporting cast and like, you share the ball with this guy. You really want this guy to have to shoot. You want this guy to dribble. You have to find certain players to play that way. That's why most of those players, they actually need the second star. You need a second star, of equal footing, because then he won't be doing the first, like, what Kawhi has with Paul George is actually the perfect thing, because Paul George is actually a willing two. He's a willing number two. Like, he's willing to defer. Yeah. He doesn't want it to be... Like, when you're in that situation where you have a number two that can do that, it actually helps you as a star. Obviously, if you look at the past winners, if you look at the teams that won Steph Curry, got a range of number two kind of guys, like Draymond, Clay, and the guys that if you defer to, they still can do a job. It's not, I'm deferring to this guy, I'm just hoping. Like, these guys are proven in their roles. And then you look back at LeBron. LeBron had AD, which is a top number two. When Kawhi won it, he actually had a range of number two guys. He had Siakam, he had Lowry, He even had a Van Fleet come through. He had guys like the Toronto Raptors had guys. So and then when LeBron won it with Cleveland, he had Kyrie. So Kyrie was like, because Kyrie hadn't won anything before Kyrie figured out more about himself. He's willing to defer. So you need those guys willing to defer when you're a ball dominant guy. Obviously, LeBron has found that sweet spot with AD. Unfortunately, AD is always injured. And then another thing is Pelinka hasn't actually filled out the rest of the roster with guys that suit how LeBron plays. He's got guys that can't shoot threes. He's got guys that, you know, he's tried so many different ways. He went really big. He went with a big team when he won in the bubble. Then he tried to say, okay, scrap that. We need a lot of creators and dribblers. Try that. Then he's tried to go shooters. I don't think he's ever tried shooters with the Lakers. The Lakers, they've never really had shooters.
They had decent shooting crews, so Caldwell Pope, Danny Green, LeBron, I believe, shot decent that year. AD shot decently from outside. I mean, but and maybe there's someone else I'm missing. They didn't really have. That's the best shooting they've had in this LeBron Lakers era.
And they won the championship with it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what, you know, confuses people like myself. Like, everyone knows the easiest way to get LeBron to be as most competitive as possible is to put shooters around him. If you do that, yeah, teams are going to be very competitive. I mean, obviously, that when you do that, you have to sometimes give up the defense. And obviously, LeBron is not as good on the defensive end to make up for the lack of defense that sometimes specialist shooters would offer, like back in the day. So, I can see somewhat from that standpoint, but still, you need to find. You know, it's your job to find these sort of players, 3-and-D players. You need to go do your job at the end of the day. And so, I mean, that's where there's a bit of a disparity there between focus and, you know, and what they're looking for between LeBron and, I guess, Pelinka.
So well, hopefully they can resolve it for LeBron, so LeBron can, you know, he can get there.
I
Get something.
I just see LeBron
playing something meaningful
games.
games.
Team in the playoffs. Not necessarily a serious contender like that, but, you know, at least have some of a chance. Unless you see LeBron in the second round, maybe in a conference final, at least something like that.
No way, bro.
Maybe not this season, but let's let him have a team whilst he's playing this well, at least offensively.
Getting cooked in the conference. I think Memphis, them young boys will be running like dogs.
Yeah, they may run him off the floor.
Run him off the floor, bro. You think you want to see Dallas? We're coming for LeBron at every pick and roll. You're coming for Luka and every pick and roll, but we'll come for LeBron at every pick and roll.
I still feel in the playoffs LeBron will have enough energy to match up on the defensive end, where he won't be a defensive liability at all. So,
but then the constant grind of games, do you think LeBron can do that?
Sorry?
You're playing every 2 nights.
2-3 nights. I mean, but
boy, he can break it down. He breaks Chris Paul down all the time.
But Chris Paul and LeBron, they're built differently. They're not made of the same stuff.
But Chris Paul's old.
So is LeBron. LeBron's old.
Well, they're old. And LeBron's body's been breaking down recently. Last 2 seasons, even recently, his ankle. LeBron's body been breaking down, dog.
But not in the playoffs. I never see it breaking down in the playoffs. In the regular season, maybe, but in the playoffs, we'll see.
Okay.